Hey guys, how's it going, Companion? So Blizzard has received some feedback that's, not so nice about all the nerfs that's been going on, and, understandably a lot of people like to play mages, and hey, mages just got nerfed! Whoa! You guys can see, Cone of Cold 4 mana, Blizzard 6 mana, I believe Frost Nova is another one affected, I believe it's up to 3 mana. And a lot of people are noticing the trend that, a lot of people are playing some kind of, OP deck, and then Blizzard comes along and nerfs it, and then some people are happy, and then some people are mad, and all that. And to make sense of it, I feel I should give you guys my take on how Blizzard is nerfing things, and kind of what I'm hoping that they would do. So, some people have taken the stance that, it's not a good idea to just nerf whatever's the most powerful thing, and in general, that is correct. But the way that I kind of see it is, enough people are playing the most powerful thing that it becomes not much fun to play. And a lot of the time, it really feels like, you're kind of getting an unfair matchup. So, they decided freezing is a little bit out of control. And I think that's kind of true. If you're playing like a creature-based deck around the mid-game, you're really going to struggle against these decks, because what's going to happen is they're going to play like a giant, then you're going to play like 5 creatures, and your 5 creatures are going to be frozen. Then it'll be frozen again. The giant's going to attack you. This is going to happen 4 times over, and then you're going to lose the game and realize that you couldn't do anything the entire game. So they're kind of trying to discourage this. One, because if you make a deck that's based around freezing, you might get rushed down a lot sooner. Having your freezes 1 turn later often means you're going to take, another 5 to 10 damage from, those super crazy aggro decks. And as such, it's going to limit the number of people that are going to be willing to run these cards. And I think it's a good idea. The way that I see the Blizzard doing the nerfs in general, now, I thought they really should nerf mages in the last patch, and I thought, making hunters obsolete was pretty stupid. But what I've noticed is they're kind of nerfing the stuff that's not really that fun to play against. So, it kind of lies in line with this change and the last. So it didn't really make sense that they kind of removed, the best deck out of the Hunter, and the Hunter wasn't even that good. But playing against the 1-turn kill Hunter deck is pretty lame. I mean, you just sit there, and then if they get a good draw and you don't get a great one, you're just going to die in 1 turn. You can't do anything, so that's pretty stupid. And with the mages, as I've briefly explained, it's kind of the same idea. So with that in mind, I feel I should give you guys my notion of cards that are not fun to play against, because these are the ones that are probably going to get nerfed pretty soon. Alright, so it's pretty interesting, but I actually believe most of the not fun cards left in the game are on the mage. So one is right here, Fireball. This card is not fun. The reason it's not fun is when you play Arena, or when you play Constructed, and you play a card of 4 mana, or of 5 mana, often 6 mana, even sometimes 7 or 8 mana, they can just kill it right out with Fireball. And it's, on top of the fact that you can just kill it outright, Fireball can be used to damage your opponent directly, and pretty much leads to the type of deck that you've seen considered, the aggro mage, where, they just run a bunch of cards into you, in terms of creatures, 1 drops, 2 drops, 3 drops, whatever, does 10 damage, then they get wiped out. But because they have, a nice set of fireballs or pyroblasts, you're going to lose anyway. So Fireball, not fun. In general, direct damage in this game is really, really lame to play against. And when you compare Fireball to other abilities, you'll see that Fireball is really above them. There is Eviscerate, but Eviscerate being 4 and Rogues not having that much in terms of direct damage, it's not really as effective. So, Fireball. Nerf it. I think Fireball should be pretty good at about 4 damage, maybe 5. And yes, I understand if it was 4 damage, it'd be significantly worse than Frostbolt, but, Frostbolt being 3 doesn't make that big of an impact. The more damage that you get for 1 card, it starts to get a little out of control. And as such, as you can imagine, Golden Pyroblast, much more effective than regular Pyroblast, dealing 10 damage, leads to some really stupid games, as you've seen some videos uploaded from me on YouTube. especially in Arena, man. This card should not exist. In my opinion, Pyroblast shouldn't even do damage. It should reduce the health of a target by half of its existing health. So it should act kind of like the Alistraza effect on full life. So the opponent is at 30 and you want to Pyroblast them, you can, maybe get them to half life. Or if there's a creature, it's like a Ragnaros, you can deal 4 damage to it if you want. So yes, it'd be pretty crappy in most decks, but having one could still be pretty good for like a combo direct damage mage. I think it'd still be useful. And you know what? I'd not feel so bad about playing against an aggro mage every now and then. So this card is really stupid. And another thing that I feel really should discourage, even if this doesn't do it already, I think the mage ability should be creature only. Just the fact that you can bypass all the taunts, you can bypass everything, it's just uncontrolled damage, really, kind of feels really lame when you take a loss to it. Flame Strike is really overpowered in Arena, and when you run into someone who has like, 2 or 3 of these and 2 or 3 blizzards, it gets pretty dumb. But, Arena's Arena. I think if direct damage was nerfed, I could maybe deal with the board clears. So, another card that people have said is really the core of the problem is Ice Block. I feel playing around Ice Block, while it's sometimes not very fun, it is a pretty cool mechanic, so I don't mind it too much. That's about it. Those are pretty much all the cards that I really dislike playing against. Yes, there is the rogue stuff. Backstab is still pretty insane, but the rogue has to have its flavor. Every class has some kind of OP cards, and you kind of gotta deal with it a little bit. But all in all, I would really expect to see direct damage nerfed if anything else really gets changed significantly from this point to the point of either the finished game or more cards being released. And in terms of the nerfs, as I've mentioned before, I feel it's pretty important just to release more cards, as balancing the current set again and again and again and again. Yeah, it'll work, kind of, but at the same time, if you just keep releasing cards, you keep the variety fresh, and you keep the people who are really, innovative with using new cards and making new decks. You keep those people on top, rather than, those who just figure out what's the most overpowered thing after it's been out forever. So that's my take on the nerfs. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.